Boom. What's up, guys? Got the last video for you on success. All right, so let's get down to business. One thing I do want to say, it's important to be able to interpret other messages from other cultures, be able to it's important to be able to speak someone's language, but it's also important to be able to really decipher another person's language instead of just sticking to the surface of it and then judging upon it. I think one example I would use in my own life that I think is helpful is being able to go to different religious backgrounds and be able to still get a spiritual benefit from it. So, I could go to a born again Christian one, I could go to a Catholic, I could go to a Mormon one, and I just go in there to really just take in that general message of whatever's being spoken upon. I can get the benefits of it, just like me being from Southern California, or if I could be talking a little more hood or whatever else might be. There could be really good knowledge and truth in what they're saying, but the person might not be able to truly appreciate and receive that value if they're going to stick to the surface of their words and kind of judge it. So they might not be able to get the benefit. So that's important as far as getting good information goes, and that is important as far as being successful. All right. So one thing I do want to say also related to success in the last on this last video on it is knowing when to listen to others and how, and when not to. So for example, not to put you on blast, this YouTube guy who I thought was a troll, who might be, or a friend, I don't know. Anyways, it's kind of funny. I got a funny comment saying that one, he actually probably had some good positive feedback for me about making my videos more concise. I know that I tend to go off topic sometimes, so I appreciate the positive feedback. And two, being able to appreciate that feedback without necessarily taking it to heart, even though he's kind of being a little insulting. It's kind of funny, which is why I thought it was a buddy. And then there's another buddy who was joking and actually did comment, teasing that person. So anyways, sorry, it was low battery. So my point is how to take feedback that can be helpful, and then also other times when not to listen to it. So for example, this person that I mentioned said, you should just give up, you should learn how to do something hard in life, learn to embrace pain, don't try to make life easy or something like that. Kind of interesting comment to make. As far as it relates to success though, goes one, if you have a passion, follow it. Truly follow it and learn how to cultivate it, because passion is fuel. It's really strong fuel that can help you become very successful in any certain field. And it's important not to listen to others sometimes, because for whatever reason, maybe that person, maybe they have good intentions, it's a good chance they don't also. This person in particular sounds like if they are a real person actually trying to not joke around, and they're actually trying to do something, then I'd probably say it's just a form of insecurity, and they probably want to put others down to make themselves feel better or something like that. It's kind of weird how the ego works sometimes. But and almost any successful story you'll hear about, there's definitely been other times where people have been, have told that person, oh, that's a stupid idea. I was just watching a video about the success of Kanye West, and beforehand, a lot of people were telling him, no, you shouldn't do this, you shouldn't be a rapper, you don't have enough talent, whatever. And he had to say no and not listen to people sometimes in order to become the success that he was. I mean, think about Steve Jobs. A lot of people at the time thought it was ridiculous. Why would any person want to have a computer in their house? If you've done any research on Steve Jobs or know anything about what it was like for him coming up in success. And it's like that for a lot of successful people, because when someone has an idea, if it's not already in the culture at the time, they can't even imagine why that would benefit humans, because it's not part of the culture at the time. So if you have a vision, you really see some potential in it, just like Steve Jobs, Kanye West, XYZ, a bunch of other people, you got to follow it and be smart, though. Also be able to listen and take positive criticism if you believe there might be helpful. So you need to have like no ego on both sides. Like, yes, be stubborn if you have a really good passion to follow through in, but two, don't have so much an ego or be so stubborn that you can't take positive feedback to improve it. So anyways, I got inspired to do this video from a TED Talk I watched, and it's by Richard St. John, and it's 8 Secrets to Success. Before I move on from other traits that you should have as far as socially goes and psychology and ego goes, I want to say that attitude and being inspired by awesomeness and mentorship is a very good trait to have, to be able to see someone else's success and be able to look at it and be inspired and learn from it. Okay, you know, in psychology there's a term called modeling, and then you can actually learn really well from others just by modeling their behaviors. And so asking them and, you know, taking on mentorship would be very helpful. You know, as aside from wanting to judge or attack it, because, you know, unfortunately that can be a trait that prevents a person from actually growing and become better in themselves if they're busy attacking others, even mentally or just actually verbally doing it. So an example I have is in Newport Beach, kayaking with a buddy in the harbor, and was coming by a pretty cool yacht. So yeah, I happen to do this a lot. I like to learn from, you know, rich people and smart people. So one of the times I happened to be asking a guy on a boat that I thought was his. I was like, "Hey man," I was like, "Do you own this boat?" You know, and he was like, "Oh, what? This thing?" He's like, "This piece of shit." He's like, "No, he's like, I just work on it," you know. And then it became clear to me, it's kind of funny. It's like, well, one, he's calling it a piece of shit. He probably doesn't like his boss, and two, like, yeah, you're probably working on it because your attitude like sucks just in life. Like, you want to attack others for their success instead of being inspired by it to learn from it. So yeah, just being very aware how attitude can affect where you end up in life. Like I had said in the previous video, talking to my gate guard, that he should, you know, or actually in another video I've done, I'll find out the name for it and I'll put it in the comments or the description. So basically, I was telling my gate guard, and I did a video on this, on why you might be more successful getting into a job that you might think it has less money in it, but if that's where your passion is, you can be very, very successful in it. So, you know, the example I used is getting into OT, occupational therapy, versus being a sports therapist. He was saying he wanted to do OT because there's more money in it, but he said, but my real passion was sports therapy. And I was like, well, dude, if you've got a real passion for it, I was like, I think you should go sports therapy, because if you have passion for it, you will be very successful in it, because passion is like a main driver to be successful. And what do you know? A couple days later, I happened to see a TED Talk, and I think it's like top 10 TED Talks you should see. Like I said, Richard St. John, 8 Secrets of Success. And the number one thing is passion. So, and like I said in the 2 previous videos on being successful, never give upness, whatever you want to call that, tenacity. I said balance and people skills. So I'm going to break it down. So in this video, he talks about passion, and then he also says being able to push yourself, being able to focus, being able to work hard, persist, improve, having good ideas, and then he also says serve. So pretty much all those skills that I just mentioned, or, you know, just say habits, whatever you want to call these traits, those are all part of the quasi never give upness, because you're not going to never give up if you have a passion for something. So obviously, why would you go into a career field you don't have passion for, you know? So get into something that you're excited about and you have passion for. If you have passion for it, you'll be able to work hard. You'll be able to push yourself. You'll be able to have good ideas because you think about it nonstop. You'll be able to persist. You'll be able to improve because it's your passion, it's your obsession, and you really, you know, just grow in that zone and become very successful in it. And yeah, by the way, this guy who did this video, he happens to be like a millionaire as well. Very, very fast runner, just really cool TED Talk. So you should watch him. And that's another thing. Be able to take and be able to identify mentorship. Like I said, identify who's a good mentor, and yeah, be able to continue from that. So I will say, if you don't know what pararescue is, it is a very it's like the elite of the Air Force. Delta teams have PJs in it, pararescue men. So anyways, it's kind of funny, the guy having a comment like you should do something hard in life, and embrace the pain, which I probably know more about pain than he does, at least physical. So anyways, and I do know a little bit about being able to be successful in things that there is adversity in, because only about 10% of people who intend to be pararescue make it. From our selection course, I think we started with 147, 19 of us graduated. 2 of those were setbacks from previous classes, actually. So I do know a little bit about improving upon things, and I did grow up in a town that happened to have a lot of successful people. I do come from a background of successful, like my dad, he's pretty dang successful. I have a step-grandpa who's like really successful. So I do know a little bit about it, and I've explored enough on it on my own. So you can do your own exploring as well to be able to learn from the truths that other people know. So that's what I want to say about being successful. Passion is very important. Like I said, I think that's the never give upness quality that the rich guy told me as I was running. And people skills, that happened to be like a subset to build upon. I think that's part of serving. So being people skills also is kind of your own understanding your own self as a person. So yeah, understanding other people, but also understanding yourself and how your own psychology works. That I think is very, very important. So I still want to keep that on the top 3 traits. So just never give up. People skills, that include yourself, others, emotions, how the mind works, and balance. I'm still not 100% positive about balance. My guess might be that it was said to me by a very successful person, the guy with the Ferrari, while I was on the run. As I was jogging away, he's like, "Oh yeah, and balance." He said, "Balance your work, your God, your life, your home, whatever." So I think that might be very applicable to extremely driven people. So for him, I remember him telling me, if you wake up in the morning and you just like feel like you have a lot to like do, like he said, that's a good sign. He told me that. So balance is probably very applicable to him. It can be applicable to people that are very driven. I think balance is applicable to me because I can take things a little overboard sometimes. So just being able to recognize, and that kind of goes back to people skills, being able to recognize your own weakness to be able to like balance it. But if you're the type of person who's like already like super laid back and do things in moderation and whatnot, maybe balance isn't as applicable to you. So hope this stuff makes sense. Hope you can really go through something that you enjoy in life. Freaking keep it up, keep crushing shit. Just really, get into some type of job or career that you really love, that it won't become work, that you just really enjoy it. And if you can do that, you'll probably be very successful at it. So anyways, that's what I've got to say. Have a good one.